Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. We sincerely hope that you are having a wonderful day. If you enjoy today's presentation and find it informative, please feel free to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share the content. Today's video subject: what do cats do when they go outside at night? Many moons ago, Senior Cat Wellness rolled out a video and an article for the website seniorcatwellness.com about felines in the moonlight, those overnight adventures, what cats do when essentially no one else is around. In today's video, I've decided to dust off that topic and give it a new shine. Why? Because not all nightlife is created equal. If your cat goes outside and you live in a small apartment complex, for example, where your cat goes and what your cat sees and does will be quite different compared to the viewer who lives on a farm in, let's say, Wyoming. What cats do when they go outside at night? Well, a lot can depend on what the outside has to offer. For today's video, let's talk about a typical neighborhood. You can check it out right there on screen. Just your normal ho-hum neighborhood for the most part. Houses just a matter of feet apart in a subdivision. So, let's set the stage a bit. Let's say it's midnight in the neighborhood and your cat is out and about. What is the most probable journey? What does it look like? If you've had your cat for a while and your pet is familiar with your neighborhood, then your cat probably executes a familiar plan. It goes a little something like this. Making sure the coast is clear. That's the first thing and arguably the most important thing. This involves being on the lookout for predators and staying just one step ahead of the game. We could be talking about possums, raccoons, perhaps a fox or even a stray dog, or your cat could be on the lookout for that mean cat that lives just right down the road. Here again, it really all depends on the neighborhood. The next part of the journey could involve a bit of hunting, tracking down those little varmints of the night, probably not necessarily for food, but more so just for play and frankly just something to do. And speaking of play, well, if your cat is not fixed, well, you know, the night time is the right time if you get my drift. Your cat could be in hot pursuit of a mate. I mean, there's a reason that most neighborhoods have a decent amount of stray and feral cats. Another moonlight activity, just basic exploring, nothing too wild here. The streets have died down, all the humans are inside dreaming about whatever humans dream about, and the cats are just out and about roaming, checking things out, making sure that everything is just the way that they left it. This is actually quite common with cats that make nighttime roaming a nightly thing. With the neighborhood setting, cats also love to visit other homes during the after hours, some back porch midnight snacks perhaps. Yeah, that's right. Your cat loves you, but while you're asleep and dreaming, your pet could be giving their affections and attentions to someone else. The person with the wet food and the treats is getting all of that moonlight love, let's say. And speaking of the neighbors, some cats don't come home in a timely fashion because they are indoors, as in your neighbor's living room, perhaps. Unfortunately, that's a possibility when you live in a subdivision. And finally, let's talk about good old-fashioned nap time. If your cat really knows the area, understands the threats or lack thereof, then it's entirely possible that the overnight hours are rather quiet and chill. And with the coast being clear and no real cares in the world, your cat could be just sleeping out under the stars, perhaps even right there in your very own backyard or on your porch or patio. And before we close things out today, it's worth noting that so much of what your cat does could depend on you. Is your cat outside overnight with your permission, let's say? Are you, as I mentioned, just dreaming away while the cat's outdoors and you know all about it? Or has the midnight hour approached and you've been calling your cat home for hours? If your cat knows that you want them inside and they haven't come back, there are typically two notable reasons as for why this is. These reasons are especially likely if your pet knows the neighborhood inside and out. Reason number one, your cat is playing a bit hard to get. Some cats just love to mess around. Everything is on their own terms. Cats can play mind games almost as skilled as any person. Cats really, for the most part, never go more than 20 or 30 yards from home, and if you've been calling them home for hours, your cat has certainly heard you. They're just too busy hiding in the bushes laughing at you. Mind games. Make no mistake, cats are experts. And another notable reason for not coming home, the threat of danger, either real or imagined. Some cats will just hit that pause button if the slightest thing just isn't quite right. Earlier on, I mentioned that mean old cat down the street in the neighborhood. Well, if your cat knows that that mean old cat is standing in the way of an otherwise clear passage to your home, that clock, that overnight clock, will continue to tick because, real threat or not, some cats, well, to put it in basic terms, they just sort of lack the courage. I've had cats in the past that refused to come home for the dumbest of reasons. I'm talking about borderline ridiculous. I won't bore you with the details, but a few years ago, one of my cats came home, stood at the door, looked over, and saw a raccoon about 15 yards away. My cat turned around and went back into the wooded area in my neighborhood. He was literally 6 inches from being indoors, but things weren't right, so he just left altogether. It happens. Try not to let it get to you, because that can be super annoying, to say the very least. At any rate, this video, was rather basic, and I'm sure a lot of you probably already knew this little adventure breakdown. However, some of you, depending on where you live, this could be news. But if you live in a subdivision and your cat roams the night, it's all rather simple. However, one of the biggest takeaways I'd like to say before I jet on out of here, I know a lot of you worry. It's common. I worried a lot when my cats were outside dwellers for a short time. If your cat is out when it shouldn't be and the hour is late, that worry can really set in. The possibilities can seem endless as to where your cat could be and what your cat is up to when you just can't see them. It's easy to let your mind wander, and at times, it's easy to fear the worst. However, in most cases, in the vast majority of cases, things are just fine, and your pet will come home when they're ready. Sometimes, as pet owners, especially as cat owners, we just need to step back and just have a little faith. Cats know where home is, and they'll be back for your tender love and care soon enough. If you have anything to add about this topic, the comment section is all yours. In the near future, we could potentially address apartment living and what cats do outside within an apartment complex. Things are a bit different in that environment. So if that's something that you'd like me to discuss, then I will do that, and I will be happy to do so. And once again, feel free to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel if this type of content is of interest to you. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later.